and thank you for joining me today. My name is Jeannie Schultz, and I'm the owner of Upcycling Creations. I founded Upcycling Creations in 2013 as a way of showcasing my upcycled traditional and vegan recipes into healthier versions, more nutrient-dense versions, and also as a way to showcase my upcycled functional art. You can always check out my website at www.upcyclingcreations.com. This video is designed to accompany my homeschool plant-based cooking lessons package. And the subject of this video is about basic kitchen and food safety for working with plant-based foods. So I intend for parents and students to view this video together prior to our scheduled classes. The topics discussed here today certainly won't cover all food and kitchen safety. However, it is intended to provide dialogue between parents and students. And now would be a great time to review your own personal kitchen and safety rules with your children, and to also jot down any questions that might come up that you might have for me later. So let's talk about cleanliness first. And one of the most important things in working in a kitchen, whether it's a home kitchen or a professional kitchen, is you must wash your hands frequently with warm soap and water, and for at least a minimum of 20 seconds. I recommend having kids sing the alphabet song. That's a really good measure of time, unless they sing it really quick. And also use a clean paper towel to dry your hands off with. So you must rewash your hands when you touch your face, your hair, your nose, your eyes, when you use the restroom, when you sneeze or cough into your hand. And one of the golden rules is never prepare food for other people if you are sick. Good hygiene is really needed in the kitchen. When working in the kitchen preparing food for others, the following is recommended. Wear clean clothes, wear an apron, wear short sleeves, no loose clothing or jewelry hanging down, tie back long hair, wear sturdy closed-toed shoes, and long pants. So I know it seems pretty simple, but following some basic simple rules for safety can certainly help avoid unneeded or unnecessary accidents. Kitchen surfaces in the sink area. I use a non-toxic cleaner like vinegar and water solution to keep my countertops and wooden cutting boards sanitary. There's also non-toxic scrubs to use in your sink as well. Keeping the sink and countertops clean can help prevent bacterial cross-contamination. And for our purposes, we are going to be talking strictly about plant-based foods, so you'll want to review other safety measures if you use things like meat and dairy in your kitchen. We won't be covering those types of safety issues. All of my microfiber towels get replaced at the end of a meal preparation, or you may choose to use paper towels. So keep your work areas tidied up during food preparation. It just means less chance of getting things knocked over or spills if you tidy up ahead of time or in between the steps of a recipe. Always wipe up spills on the floor or countertops right away. Food safety. I get this question quite a bit. Should I wash my fruits and vegetables? And here's my answer. In our house, we use the mesh produce bags so that we don't have to recycle or bring in as much plastic. So our fruits and vegetables, even though many experts recommend just rinsing the organic fruits and vegetables with plenty of clear running cold water, I still opt to wash the vegetables in a veggie wash, a safety approved veggie wash, or a vinegar and water solution, because our groceries go on the grocery conveyor belt with meat and dairy. So things like mushrooms or raspberries you would never want to submerge in a veggie soap wash or even a vinegar solution. So if we use those types of foods in our recipes, I'll cover how to prepare those foods, including washing for safety. Many resources, again, say that just rinsing with clear running cold water is sufficient. Okay. Make sure to put all refrigerated fruits and vegetables and other perishable food items in the refrigerator when returning from the grocery store. We use glass jars and glass food containers as our food storage containers. And we also mark dates directly on containers with a Sharpie when we open food items. The use by dates are in the midst of a change currently, but with perishable food items like almond milk, yogurts, processed vegan meats, tofu, tempeh, and other processed foods, stick to the use by dates for safety. Canned food should be used by the dates printed on them. Don't take any chances, and if in doubt, throw it out. On other items like dry foods such as crackers, cereals, and other dry foods, use your common sense along with the use by dates on when to toss foods. Always, always use a clean spoon to taste foods as you are cooking. Then when you taste again, use another clean spoon. Never lean over a pot or an appliance to catch drips while tasting. So rather put your hand under your spoon to taste. Again, that will prevent cross-contamination and germs to other people. And we will cover food safety and storage information specifically as it pertains to each of our recipes and each of our classes. So more information will be given then. The other thing that I do is I limit the amount of oils that I keep and use in my kitchen because I just don't use them fast enough to make sure that they're not rancid. And so continuing to use rancid oils past the time when they're fresh is not good for our bodies. So again, I always encourage my students in my plant-based cooking classes to mark a date when they open up items. For my oils, I keep a small amount of oils in a separate container in my cupboards, and then the larger jar usually gets stored inside the refrigerator for longer shelf life. So, and feel free to ask questions about that if you need some help with determining how to manage the foods in your kitchen. So slicing and chopping foods. For younger students, I suggest using products like an acrylic ergonomic serrated edge knives like the ones that youngchef.com produces, or a Pampered Chef stainless steel wedge cutter. And so the Curious Chef knives look like this, and they come in a package of 3. And as you can see, there's the serrated edge. And these tools require parental supervision just like a regular knife would. So, but what's nice about these is they have this nice ergonomic wide handle for little hands to grip and learn how to hold properly. And so these knives will not give a precision cut, but that's really not the idea here. This is a beginning knife. So as always, I would recommend that you take some time to evaluate your child's skills and maturity level before giving them any kind of utensils. And These knives are available on Amazon.com. Here is the UPC code if you need that. CuriousChef.com. And full disclosure, I don't have any kind of relationship with this company. I just happen to like their tools. Okay. Another way to help them practice cutting skills is with a basic butter knife. And even a butter knife still needs supervision. So each situation should be evaluated individually to determine if the child has the maturity and motor skills required to handle a knife properly and safely. When working with round vegetables and fruits, most of the time it is better to cut the vegetable or fruit in half. Then you have a flat side to work on. And again, when we work with these types of vegetables in our classes, I will provide some examples and demonstrations to help you do that. And parents, if we are working with younger kids, what might be helpful is for you to cut round vegetables in half so that then the child can start with a flat vegetable. So you and I can make those decisions together prior to our classes. My advice is to never hold an avocado half in the palm of your hand and then cut it while you're slice it while you're holding it. Instead, place it on a cutting board, then gently drag the knife through the soft avocado. And I even recommend this for adults. So it's so easy to just go straight through the soft avocado and into the palm of your hand. I don't recommend holding it while you're cutting. Help younger children practice those safe cutting skills with a butter knife first, with simple, easy to cut foods like strawberries or bananas. Those are good foods to first foods to start cutting with. And so number one rule of the kitchen is always, always, always get your parents' permission before using any kitchen equipment or appliance. Always have your parents help you review operating procedures and safety information that is provided by the manufacturer, and follow those manufacturer's recommendations for cleaning safely. Always use caution when operating kitchen appliances, even a toaster. Never leave the kitchen with an appliance turned on, including a microwave. If you have the regular oven turned on, make sure you set a timer so you don't forget it. And even for adults, it's really important to set that timer because a house fire could be started when the food inside of an oven catches fire. And there's so many things to grab our attention. If you make these habits in your kitchen, then hopefully you'll never have to deal with those issues. Many times food processors and blenders have razor sharp blades and moving parts. Never fight or argue with others in the kitchen. Cooking can be fun and help build relationships and communities within families. Never try to grab a sharp instrument like a knife away from someone. When moving from place to place in the kitchen, use phrases like behind you or excuse me. When walking with a knife in your hand or other sharp instrument, hold your arm down next to your side and say out loud something like, sharp knife coming, or sharp blade. Another never in the kitchen is never use a stool next to a countertop or a stove with younger children. I've seen this suggested in other cooking classes for children, and personally, I don't feel like this is a safe type of procedure, because when a child is standing in front of a cooktop, perhaps stirring a pan or a pot of hot food, the likelihood that the child may lose their balance and try to grab onto something to keep themselves from falling is so high, and the risk is so high. I don't recommend doing that. So I will work with you to individualize classes to make sure that, depending on the child's age and maturity level and skills, we'll be having them do tasks that are safe for them. The other thing also, I don't recommend putting a stool next to a countertop and then knives or other kitchen equipment there, because again, a child could lose their balance very easily and try to grab onto the countertop, pulling everything down on themselves. So instead, what I recommend is to have the child seated comfortably at a table, and so that they have an appropriate height table, and make sure that all the ingredients and the equipment are within easy reach from their seated position. So once we have decided on your classes and the recipes, I'll give you lists and things to help you gather your equipment together, and so that the child doesn't have to keep getting up and from the table to go get equipment. It's better to have everything all gathered together ahead of time. So practicing, that will be really important, especially if your kids are new to kitchen and kitchen tasks. Being able to identify 1/2 teaspoon or 1/2 cup will be really important for our recipes and our steps. So if you allow them to sit at the table and give them water and rice or beans to practice measuring those things, and you can tell them, pick up the 1/2 teaspoon, and I'd like to see you measure 1/2 teaspoon of water. And then have them practice moving it from one bowl to, let's say, an ingredient bowl. For older children, have them practice boiling water on top of the stove prior to a cooking recipe. And that will also help you to assess their skills and maturity level. So I really look forward to working with you and your families and sharing some plant-powered goodness. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at upcyclingcreations@gmail.com. And I really look forward to creating some really great memories for you too. So thank you for watching, and bon appetit.